these are murder. Oh, God. I told you guys I was bringing back the headband. Here it is. It's going to take off. You just wait and see. All right. So my strength and mobility workout for today. I'm starting with some of these rows with external rotation, really as a scapular stabilization activation exercise, or scapular stabilizer activation. So it's really just to switch on that neuromuscular connection between my scapular stabilizers and tell them that it is time to start working and to do their job before I do my strength training. So to make sure that my scapula is moving the way that it should in my pressing and pulling movements. So it's not meant to fatigue you when you do work like that. Now into my workout specific warm-up. So I'm doing a pronated grip shoulder press today. So I'm going to warm up. I'm going to do a 4-3-2-1 warm-up. So starting with a weight that's a little bit more than 50% what I'm going to lift. I don't know if I'm going to lift 17.5 kilos first or 20 kilos. I'm going to see what it feels like in the warm-up, and I'm also going to double check what I finished on in my last week's workout. I'm about a week and a half ago now, I had a couple of little tears in my right shoulder and some of the muscles, and so I've been doing some structural balance training for the last week and a half now to help sort that out. So what did I do in my last workout? This is why it's, well, one of the many reasons why it's so good to use an app to track all your progress, because I can just jump in and quickly see. Okay, I did 17.5. I'll do one set at 20. One rep at 20, I'll see what it feels like. Because 17.5 felt okay. It was heavy, but it felt okay. Yeah, I think I'll do 20. Those ring rows are a pretty safe exercise. It's unlikely that I'm going to injure myself doing those. So just one warm-up round is enough for me on that. And then just the transition from finishing my last warm-up round here, doing the ring rows, coming back, I've now probably had somewhere about a minute and a half break, which is enough for me because I'm not doing intensification training. I'm not doing, 5 reps or 3 reps per set. I'm doing accumulation training. So let's see how I go with 20s. I only did 17.5 last week. Ah, it was good. Shoulders feeling a lot better. Alright, so I'm going to do a little bit more of an aggressive stretch for my quadriceps and hip flexors today called the hero stretch, but I do a warm-up round of the couch stretch because it's a great way to warm up for something more intense like a hero stretch. So yeah. "30 seconds is long enough to see good improvement when you do multiple sets. So as long as you're doing multiple sets, which I am, then 30 seconds is a good hold time. First round is never as good as the second or third round. You're always less flexible in that first round of doing your stretches, so I never try and break any records on my first round. I'm always really aware of trying to keep that posterior pelvic tilt on this stretch, which is why I'm holding my hand here and here so that I can feel what's going on in my pelvis. Had a few people ask on socials recently what it means to pair antagonistic movements together. There was a short that we made that was a clip of one of my workouts where I'm talking about that. And so every joint in your body has muscles that are antagonistic to each other. So your elbow, you have the bicep, which creates elbow flexion when it contracts. And when the bicep contracts, the tricep relaxes and lengthens. And then you have the tricep, which when it contracts, it extends the elbow. And at that point, the biceps relaxed and lengthens. So those two muscles work antagonistic to each other. When one contracts, it pulls the joint this way. When the other contracts, it pulls the joint that way. But you have muscles in every joint that do that. You know, you've got wrist flexion and wrist extension. You've got finger flexion and finger extension. You know, you've got supinators and you've got pronators. You've got knee extensors and knee flexors, hip flexors, hip extensors. You know, you've got muscles that push your arms this way, or the more accurate way to say it would be that flex the shoulders this way, and then you've got muscles that extend the shoulders. But if you're talking about a complex movement with multi-joints working, you know, you've got muscles that push and muscles that pull. But there's also more recruitment of different muscles when you push in a vertical plane and when you pull in a vertical plane, and then pushing in a horizontal plane and pulling in a horizontal plane. So it's really important to balance antagonistic movements, which is what you see me doing here. I'm doing a push and a pull. All right, it's my time to do a set now. So speaking of pushing, here's my push exercise. Now, what I did just there, the shoulder press, That's called a vertical push pattern, where I'm pushing up vertically rather than a horizontal push where I'm pushing horizontally. And the best pairing for a vertical push is a vertical pull, which is things like pull up and lat pull downs. Now, I'm not doing a vertical pull, I'm doing a horizontal pull. The ring row that I'm doing out there is called a horizontal pull. But the reason I'm doing that is because I'm working to beat some golfer's elbow in my right arm. And one of the major considerations for golfer's elbow is to reduce the load on the wrist flexors, but still keep training the system. So by going from a pull-up to a horizontal row to a ring row, I'm still training the pulling muscles. I'm still training the pulling pattern, but it's not in a vertical plane, which for me is pull-ups, which is way more intense than the ring row. So it's giving those wrist flexors an opportunity to recover. But normally, and I won't do this for more than 2 months, 2 mesocycles maximum, because you develop imbalances when you're not doing a vertical push with a vertical pull and a horizontal push with a horizontal pull. You can overcome a lot of imbalances just by training antagonistic movements in a 1-to-1 ratio. So yeah, I always do 1-to-1 push and pull, almost always vertical push pull, horizontal push pull. But I've explained when you can do that differently, or when for me it's okay to do it differently. You'll even see when I do my supplementaries soon, like I'll do a chest fly with a bent over lateral raise. So I'm pairing those together. I'll do bicep curls with tricep extensions. I'll do wrist flexion with wrist extension. Wrist supination with wrist pronation. Yeah, works well. Keeps your body, structurally sound. All right, let's get ready for round 3. Well, this headband is way better for the microphone. I don't have this hat getting in my way. But it is actually a bit warmer. I didn't consider that. It is warming my head up, which will be good in winter. Twenties feel good. So this hero stretch is a much more intense stretch for the quadriceps. All right, round 4, here we go. All right, first set, supplementary exercises. Doing a, really working on the imbalance from left to right side shoulder that I haven't worked on for a very long time. Deltoids primarily. So this is obviously an isolated exercise to really try and hit those deltoids. And I've got these 1 kilo wrist weights because I want to do 5 kilos. It's too light for me at the moment, but 7.5 kilos is too heavy at the moment. So this gives me 6 kilos. So I just quickly log my reps and my weight and start my timer so that I can time my rest period. But I'm also timing my loaded stretching, so my active recovery. So I'm working on middle splits today in my workout as well, so I'll be getting to that soon. And I'm starting with just some loaded butterfly stretching. Oh, and I'm quite stiff today, and because I did a shortened warm-up today, I didn't do anything to warm up my adductors or my hips, so normally I would have done a little bit of squat hip opener. So this is feeling extra tight. So now I'm going to contract my glutes as hard as I can, which is very hard to do, and relax, and then contract again. Very hard to isolate the contraction like this. And I'll contract again. All right, that's a good first set. Okay. There we go. So I use this D-roller so that my scapula can go through full range of motion with retraction and protraction, mostly with retraction. So it allows me to go lower, get a better stretch in the pecs, so it increases flexibility while I'm doing the exercise, but also recruits more muscle fibers. The more you stretch the muscles out, the more muscle fibers are recruited for the contraction. And I stop short because when you go all the way to here or here, you completely deload the pecs. The pecs are still under load here, but when you go here, the load really backs off and it's going more through the rotator cuff and the deltoids. So that's why. And then this is the antagonistic movement. Oh, that's right, I meant to do 6 kilos. So this movement is the antagonistic movement to the chest flies. So it's not just about training antagonistic muscles for me, it's also about training antagonistic movements as best as I can. Woo! I'll do 2 more sets of this, and I'm onto my arms. Alright, now my 3rd set of supplementaries for my arms, biceps and triceps. Oh man. So I'm doing this angle because when you train your biceps and triceps, by changing the angle of the humerus, you change the way that the muscles recruited. So this muscle, this bone here, the humerus. So because the long head of the bicep crosses the shoulder joint and one of the heads of the triceps crosses the shoulder joint. So the biceps full range of motion is from here up to here, like that. And the triceps full range of motion is from here to here. So by changing the angle, you just change the way the muscles are used. So for that same reason, in today's workout, I'm doing a 30-degree incline tricep extension, but I try to keep, you always try to keep the humerus vertical when you're using a bench like this. Alright, 2 more sets of that, then I'm onto my shoulder conditioning and then golfer's elbow rehab. I need to use my shirt for this exercise on my knee because I'm so sweaty at this point that my arm just slips off my knee. really, really good exercise for shoulder rehab and prehab. Oh, woo! Ah, that's a tough one. One thing I didn't think about when I got this headband is how good it would be for keeping sweat out of my eyes. I guess that is what they're for, isn't it? Okay, 8 reps. All right, let's see how my grip is today. Last workout I PB'd, I got 7 reps on my Captains of Crush. Let's see what I can do today. Oh, almost. One eccentric for good luck on the weak arm. All right. Now the strong side, this always blitzes it. All right. And then these are my antagonistic movement for grip crushing, finger extension. An essential part of dealing with tennis elbow. Finger extension really helps. All right, middle splits training. Nobody likes training middle splits. That just sucks. Okay. Now, into the least flattering exercise of the workout. So this is an end range contraction for my glutes. Trying to develop strength in the glutes at end range of the middle splits position, which is a huge part of the middle splits. Oh man. Alright, now we go into the middle splits. Never push yourself on your first set. Just go wherever is relatively easy for you to go to. Oh. All right. You know, I was just thinking as I was getting through this workout that all these little niggling things that I've been dealing with are all starting to almost not be there anymore. There's still a couple of little tweaks in my shoulder, so that's going to take a few more weeks. But this golfer's elbow and tennis elbow is almost non-existent in this workout. And the last workout it felt heaps better as well. So that's really cool. Getting really close to being able to train without the consideration of injuries, which definitely will change my programming. I won't have to put so much time into exercises like this. Oh, these are murder. Oh, God. Oh, God. Ah. All right, 2 more sets of that and I'm done. But I'll see you in my next workout.